Welcome back. If it has joined us, you're watching Channels Television, celebrating 21 years of professional broadcasting. This is the news at 10, a reminder of our major stories tonight. House of Representatives Chief Whip Al-Hassan Ado Doguwa dismisses Abdul Mumin Jibrin's allegations of budget padding as frivolous. It says lawmakers committed no crime. Nigerian Guild of Editors conference ends with a call for a radical development of agriculture by federal and state governments. Gunmen killed 11 soldiers during raids on gun runners' hideouts in Boso local government area of Niger State. And freak floods killed 20 people in Macedonia's capital Skopje following heavy rainstorm. Do remember all our top stories can be found on our websites, channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. You could also visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on a mobile device and download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. And besides the news and updates, the Channels TV app has an eyewitness feature. We encourage you to use it to share those pictures, videos, or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the eyewitness menu and then follow the instructions. Let's take a look at some of the pictures that you sent into our eyewitness portal. We begin with this one. It was sent in from Mbieri area of Aba in Abia State. Eyewitness reporter says residents in this neighborhood, which is without good roads and clean water, he said, calls on state authorities to provide basic amenities. Our next photo shows refuse dumped on this open space in Gwagwalada area in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. Eyewitness reporter advises residents to stop such unhealthy activity. We're on the Port Harcourt Aba Highway. We see vehicles in a long queue. They've been there for hours, we understand, trying to get to their destinations. Eyewitness reporter wants government to fix the road to speed up movement on the road. Finally, is this photo sent in from Kuchigi Bida area in Niger State. We see a young man making a drone. He's identified as Evans Adino. Eyewitness reporter says he's a graduate of Federal Polytechnic in Bida. He wants innovations like this to be encouraged. In other news, a collaboration between the Benue State government and the Nigerian Army towards developing social amenities is expected to lead to improved water supply in the state. This assurance was offered by Governor Samuel Otom at the rowing out ceremony of 6 sapper generals who retired from the Nigerian School of Military Engineering, Makodi, between 2011 and 2015. The Army authorities also assured the institution's host communities of its commitment to their welfare.
Soldiers of the Nigerian Army School of Military Engineering, Makodi, on parade, inspected by the Commander, Corps of Engineers, and the representative of the Chief of Army Staff. The event is in honor of 6 sapper generals who have retired from the Army. Colleagues, family members and friends pay attention as the retired generals share their experience with the young officers on how to enjoy a successful military career.
We can say that we are indeed among the blessed ones that have had a fulfilled time in service. I implore you all to remain loyal to the constituted civil authority of our dear nation and the leadership of the armed forces at all times. You must remain disciplined, obedient, operate as a team.
It is therefore the wish of every officer that attains this rank to be done this honor. It serves to appreciate the officer for his or her meritorious service while motivating those in service. I therefore, on behalf of the Nigerian Army Engineers, thank all our generals and indeed all retired officers for the foundation they laid on which we now build upon.
Crew now pick up their paddles. Stand by to paddle. Crew now place their paddle on the gunwale in position with only the tips of the paddles touching the water.
As the rowing out ceremony proceeds to its natural element, officers and men of the Nigerian Army School of Military Engineering demonstrate marine rescue operations on the River Benue.
Who is partnering with the SOPA for the fishery.
The government of Benue State, represented by the Deputy Governor, applauds the Army for its professionalism and pledges a more rewarding partnership.
One of these areas of support over the years, and I can testify to this, that there has been very serious cooperation between the state government and NASFE. And we have done this in the area of giving support to the water production in these waterworks.
As the boat of the retired Sapper Generals symbolically sets sail, the entire Nazme family bids them an emotional farewell as they return to a civilian life on the other side of the river.
The Lagos State government has commended the State Police Department and other security agencies that work tirelessly in ensuring the release of traditional ruler of Iba town, Apapa-Ijora Oseni, who was abducted on July 16th. In a message conveyed by the State's Commissioner for Justice, Mr. Adeniji Kazim, at State House, where the suspects were paraded, the government warned criminals in the state to desist from such acts.
Oba Goriola Oseni has been rescued alive and has since returned safely to the palace. The Lagos State government shares in the relief and joy of the family. It will be recalled on the 16th of July 2016, the Oba was abducted and 2 persons were shot and killed by the kidnappers in the process. We are also pleased to announce that 2 of the kidnappers have been arrested and are here for everybody to see. The kidnappers are also prime suspects in the murder of 2 persons killed during the kidnap, and they will face the full wrath of the law. I wish to commend the police and other security agencies for their all-round efforts in securing the release of the Oba and effecting the arrest of the kidnappers.
Meanwhile, parents have been advised to ensure their wards take advantage of all platforms for legitimate employment opportunities so as not to fall on the wrong side of the law. The Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Fatai Owosheni, says for every negative act by criminal elements in the state, the response from security agencies shall be firm and decisive.
We'd like to seize the opportunity to appeal with our youths and parents to be able to tell their children who are involved in all these criminal activities that the government of the day at federal level and state level have provided different platforms that they can access to get meaningfully employed. If it is to do small-scale businesses, the Bank of Industry is giving small loan with which they can do small business. And the government has also opened a platform that people that have qualifications can access in order to be gainfully employed. So we will plead with them and we plead with parents that they should please desist from all these criminal activities and get and approach this platform to get meaningfully employed.
The police command in Oyo State has arrested 4 suspects in connection with a murder of a member of the State House of Assembly, Honorable Gideon Aremu. He was killed in front of his house in Alakia area as he alighted from his car to open the gate. Reports say 3 gunmen on a motorcycle were said to have shot him after a brief argument. The State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Leye Oyebade, said the arrests were made by a combined team from the Intelligence Response Unit of the Inspector General of Police. The Minister of Works, Power and Housing has ordered the immediate closure of the Apapa-Ijora bridge for repairs. Mr. Babatunde Fashola, who's on a working visit to Lagos, also had a meeting with meter manufacturers where he made a case for patronage of locally produced meters.
It's been a very busy weekend for the Honorable Minister for Works, Power and Housing. He's visiting local meter manufacturers and canvassing for over 3 million power consumers to come into smart metering scheme. That gap, he believes, can be bridged by local manufacturers.
If you look at the number of telephones that we use in this country, and if we just pause to ask ourselves how many was even just assembled here, and the opportunities that were lost, and I am determined to use the responsibilities of my office to ensure that we don't repeat that kind of mistake. And the signs that will not happen is evident from the young men and women you saw in the factory working in a factory in Lagos, in Nigeria, as against what has happened in the past where all of those who made those telephones were working in factories in China.
Overhead costs, scarce foreign exchange and low patronage from the 11 distribution companies are some of the challenges faced by these entities.
We really do need Forex is actually posing to be our biggest problem, alongside local financing at a single digit that would reflect or be cost reflective to what we are doing at the moment. We cannot be borrowing at high double digit rates. It would automatically increase the price of the meter. Already as it is, Nigerians are struggling with being able to buy those meters, even the discos themselves. So imagine doubling the price of a meter that already costs 65,000 naira, or a meter that already costs 40-something thousand naira, having to double or triple the price. It would almost mean that we will not be able to meet the metering gap that already exists in the country.
The minister is, however, optimistic that the federal government will continue to create a platform where industry players can reach a compromise through persuasion that will engender massive rollout of smart meters, especially locally manufactured. That consummated, he moves to Apapa for a stakeholders meeting over the terrible state of Apapa-Ijora bridge that has become a cause for worry. He describes the level of damage on some sections of the bridge as an emergency situation that requires urgent actions, budgetary constraints notwithstanding.
There are contractors who we have instructed immediately under our emergency procurement rules to go and assess it and design a solution which our engineers in-house will then look at and validate the best of the methods that are proposed in order to be able to restore it. So we're on top of it.
This is the level of devastation on this bridge that has been open in the last 40 years to traffic. And so as a matter of emergency, so that we don't have a devastation or a disaster in our hand, the Minister of Works, Power and Housing has ordered that from midnight today, this bridge will be closed down to traffic. A palliative measure will commence immediately, while engineering processes will be undertaken to determine what permanent solution will be brought to this bridge.
We intend to put a support under the bridge, then put a steel plate on top to cover this hole. Then we can open it for light traffic while repair work will now start. But meanwhile, because of the nature of the distress, we are starting from the scratch by carrying out studies to know the solution to this problem. Because JB did not design this bridge or any other contractor. This bridge was designed and built by Gofanti. They are no longer in Nigeria. So it's like we are starting from the scratch to find a solution.
While the bridge is shut to traffic, the service lane by Leventis will serve as an alternative route to allow repair work on this 40-year-old Apapa-Ijora bridge. Olu Phillips, Channels Television News.
Still ahead of the news at 10, our community report tonight dwells on the total absence of healthcare and other infrastructure in Umuchima, Amazon community of Abia State. Join us again.